Good afternoon, judges, and thank you everyone for attending. My name is Bill Claxton. I'm Operations Director for Velox Chain. My colleague Eric, who is the technical lead for the project, is here. And I want to share with you a little bit about the project. The name Velox suggests velocity, and it's come from the Latin root for wheel. We're actually talking about all types of mobility. Could be e-scooters, could be segways, could be traditional two-wheeled bicycles or hoverboards. So let's get things moving. So what we're trying to do is not to disintermediate any party in the industry, but we're trying to bring together people who want to get into this industry. Either those who want to be fleet service operator, those who want to do a peer-to-peer sharing of device. These devices generally we call as a personal mobility device, or PMD, or micro-mobility. The vertical value chain consists of the suppliers of these devices, the fleet service operator, and then is very important also the retail outlet where you pick up the device and take it away and perhaps bring it back. So it's a very fragmented market today. It's an exciting market. It's a $2 billion market that's growing at over 100% a year. But the user experience and also the traction with new businesses is very difficult. I would say adoption is one of the issues. Here we see a lot of the bicycles around, and increasingly now we're seeing the e-scooter, but in US and Europe this is not so common. And these markets are really untapped markets. They've been traditionally bike friendly, and now these new various mobility devices are coming. So another thing is looking at it from the demographic perspective. The millennials are not really owning bikes, and they're very interested in the sharing economy, but the adoption rate is quite low at the moment. So the problem that we're trying to address is in three areas. On the tech side, it's a centralized model, subject to data privacy issues and so on. On the business side, it's very hard for these, say, fleet service operator to enter the market, which is dominated by big companies which are from another country and vertically integrated. I would just like to say one more thing about that is the mobility market is very suited to local business. So there's no particular reason that a conglomerate from another country should come to your town and set up services. It can be homegrown. And then finally, on the consumer side, they have to use a device which use the app which is different for different service providers. So it's a fragmented experience. What we want to do is bring all this together with decentralization so that the technology is decentralized. And for the business, we want to promote interconnected services. All these different merchants can participate together. And for the user, they'll have a decentralized app which let them see different service providers. In other words, it's a multi-merchant model. So we choose blockchain because it has the auditable integrity, the immutability, and the decentralization. But also on our tech side, as I'll show you, we're introducing a high-speed transaction processing and also a privacy layer. The reason for privacy is because all of the multiple merchants don't necessarily want other merchants to see their deals. So we need to make sure that the merchant data is permissioned, as well as for the personal user data. So we're not just dApps at all, we're a protocol. And this protocol will enable, we think, a new vision of the industry for mobile devices. And I'll share with you a little bit more about how this protocol works. So in terms of the ecosystem, we can see that in the upper left we have the merchants, in the right we have the users, and then we have developers. And I would just maybe suggest that overarching all of this is the smart cities movement. So all of these activities that the actors are doing will be generating data that can be shared with the the cities, the urban municipalities that need data on where the devices are being used, how they're being used, and so on for regulatory support. So for Velux Go, I'll tell you more about what's involved in this application, but this would be the DApp that the users, maybe when they land in a new city, they can see what sort of offerings are available for e-scooter or Segway, and they can pick their provider. For Velux Biz, this is the merchant app, and so the merchants can find partners to work with to establish the whole value chain. And then for the developers, we support a very open approach. So they can use the blockchain for high-speed transactions, but they can do their own things on top of it, or they can adopt our open source and use our dApps and white label them if they want to. So this is a bit about the technology. Maybe I'll just say that we have this zero knowledge proof technology, which allows for protection of the data. And also we have some technology for management of the crypto keys. You can see that we have support for tokenization asset. Let me explain. We're using ERC-721 token. So this token represents the biodata of the mobility device, say the e-scooter. So we know where this e-scooter came from, we can get it insured, and if it disappears, we know how to trace it. And then we have various key management system and, of course, the payment processing system there. Now, the writing on top of this is the Velux Biz, the merchant application. So the merchant can list their assets, the e-scooters or Segways that they have, and then they can match make with merchants. So they can find a fleet service operator and put those devices into service. And the fleet service operator can find the retail outlet. Maybe it's a WeWork, maybe it's a resort, maybe it's a Marriott hotel. Think about not only not only crypto payment, but also fiat payment. So when you go into the Marriott, you can pay the concierge in fiat, take away the device, and then the merchant will pay the crypto in this case. So it's a merchant pays model. If you're crypto friendly, you're using the dApp Velux Go, then you can pay in crypto and just take away a ride. It could be a P2P model, or it could be a fleet service model. We support either of those. There's a lot of data going around here, and just think of it as like a rating system. So we can support recommendations of which fleet service operator is providing a good service in locations nearby, and so on. So this is a bit on the tokenomics. The tokenomics provides for block rewards for the developers, and we take the block rewards and we can split them so that we take maybe 5% to build the community fund and keep the community fund going, and then we take another 5% for the business to support ongoing development. But most of it is going to the validators who are running the shared processing to validate all the transactions. So we have a team of about 10. Eric has a very good development team in Vietnam, Vietnamese developers in Blockchain Rock. And aside from that, we have people doing marketing and business development, myself doing operations. And the team size will grow very quickly because we've got some seed funding already. And we have the ability to sort of survive the winter until the market is a bit better. We'll postpone our token sale until the climate is a bit more favorable for that. We have an MVP currently, but the development is moving very quickly. I wish I could show you a demo, but there's not time. I'll just mention a couple of partners that we have. One is TomoChain, and another is Volata Cycle. So Volata Cycle is a company based in San Francisco. They're a kind of custom bike builder. This is our roadmap. For the proof of stake voting, it's coming up in the fourth quarter here. And then the various technology around Velux Chain is rolling out over the winter, and we expect a full launch in Q3 2019. This is our team. You can see myself in the upper right corner and Eric next to me. Let me mention Fabricio, the CEO. is the one who's built this business of Volata Cycles. He understands the bike business very well, and he comes from a research background leading highly funded projects. Prof. Ang, I'm standing in front of, is sort of our thought leader in terms of the ZKP and the key management, some of the crypto technology. And that's the end of my presentation. I'll be happy to take your questions. And if it's okay, I'll just ask my colleagues to come on the stage as well to field the questions.
So my question to you is, who's going to deal with arbitration should there be an issue with the service, the P2P service? Say if you were riding a scooter.
The fleet service operator is responsible for insurance and maintenance and resolution of disputes. If it's P2P, then the owner of the vehicle will take that responsibility.
The inefficiencies though, like say if you were taking a Grab, right, you got customer service on the centralized front that will take care of the issue.
There's a lot of negative social issues around the current, as I say, vertically integrated model, and people are leaving the bikes all over the place. The business model is targeted for one-way rides, short distance from the train station to work or home, and kind of disposable bikes, very inexpensive bikes. We believe we can support more expensive bikes, even like $800 or $1,000 bikes. We're focused on a round-trip model, so there'll be incentives to encourage the rider to return the bikes or e-scooter or Segway, of course, return them back to one of the retail locations. There can be many retail locations. So when you sort of check out the bike, they will know who you are, and then you'll be responsible to return the scooter or the bike or whatever the mobility device is. So I think this can be addressed, but to answer the point that you raised, it's the fleet service operator who's responsible for all of this.
What's the pain point you're trying to solve here?
The pain point is that it's the network effects pain point. The Mobike and OFO, which are the common ones that people know about, don't have network effects. They have economies of scale in manufacturing, but each city they go to, if OFO is already there and then Mobike come to town, the OFO users don't get any benefit from that. There's no network effects in the ecosystem. Also, the regulators have a difficult time regulating, to sort of relate to the earlier question. So by providing data in a consistent way across this platform, we can address that sort of network effects, and we think we can have a system where sort of 1,000 flowers bloom, that anybody, you or I, can set up with, say, $20,000 of fleet service in our local town, and it can start everywhere all over the world. It doesn't need to wait for, say, Mobike or OFO to come to town.
Is there any go-to-market strategy? So how
Yes.
to bootstrap it?
Yes, so we're focused on development. We'll work with merchants. So our business model would be to approach merchants first in North America, in San Francisco, Boston, and cities which are bike friendly or sharing friendly, and then to Europe. So not so much on Asia. Last questions? We have 1 more minute. Oh, that was it? Sorry.
Last question. Do you have any IoT device integration in your business model? Because I think it's first you should get the device wallet first, I think, because it can be decentralized to the P2P specific device, right?
Okay, I think for the IoT device, we will work with the manufacturer. For example, with a smart bike, they can have a dashboard, they can control their own private key or the wallet. But if the suppliers, they don't have a smart device, they can control by the app and user. Yeah.
Yeah, because...
So there is IoT integration, so the lock is integration and the GPS tracking is integration. And if you had an existing cool bike that you want to put in the market, P2P, you would have to retrofit it. And also, there is a wallet on each device. There's an ERC 721. You pay into that wallet, it's distributed to the merchant, so it's a rev share.
So maybe your go-to-market business model maybe can initiate from you selling the IoT device embedded with a wallet. Then everyone have a spare mobility can tag in your device to install a wallet, even just individual, right? Not the.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think.
I think this is a good idea. Yes.
Yeah, maybe you can cooperate with eNotes to. Yeah, they develop private key. Yeah, just install it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.